All right, family, friends, some of y'all want to know about what's going on with the fake nursing licenses. So I am going to explain. So apparently, where do I start? So apparently there has been. So this article is from ABC News. It says, fast to announce massive takedown of fraudulent nursing diploma scheme. 2 from South Jersey charged. Conspiracy involved over 7,600 fake nursing diplomas and certificates, officials said. So it says 25 people are accused of operating a multi-million-dollar nursing school scheme, including 2 Burlington County, New Jersey residents. So this is not only ranging in Florida, it kind of takes on a toll of up there in New York even. I think I done read so many articles so far. But basically, Department of Justice involved, FBI is involved. They even have an article saying 26 Delaware nurses have licenses annulled amid nursing diploma investigation. And what happened was one of the boards of nurses, which is where we would complete our nursing courses, graduate from college, high school, or diploma school. Some people go to diploma school. And what happens is you have to turn in transcripts of certain requirements, certain classes you have to take, right? In order to sit for your board. So they won't even let you take the boards unless you have those transcripts. So with that being said, once you have those transcripts, you can sit for the boards, right? So what alerted them is that these particular schools were getting low pass scores. They're like, what the heck's going on? Why are you having so many nurses, people going for nursing school, failing the boards? Are they not properly trained? Is this a legit school? So they went into an investigation called Operation Nightingale. Nightingale is like a prominent, they say she was like one of the first nurses. That's what they teach us back then or whatever like that. It's like one of the first courses you learn about Florence Nightingale, help with the wars and everything like that. So apparently, the indictment alleges somebody named Witherspoon, Salou, and another defendant solicited and it recruited individuals who sought nursing credentials to gain employment as RNs, which is a registered nurse, or LPNs, which is a licensed vocational nurse. That's the one you can get at technical schools as well. It is alleged these defendants arranged with Eugene Sanon, who managed Siena College, that is one, and is charged by information with wire fraud conspiracy to create and distribute false and fraudulent diplomas and transcripts. These fake documents represented that expiring RN and LVN candidates that attended Siena's college nursing program in Broward County completed the necessary courses and clinicals to obtain a RN or LVN diploma. In fact, the aspiring nurses never completed the necessary courses and the clinicals. What are other names of the schools? There's 2 other schools that's on here. Siena College was one. But they're all basically located in Broward. So that's why like there's a big hoorah of Florida nurses. And I'm letting you know it ain't all Florida nurses, because this nurse right here had blood, sweat, and tears to get her degree, okay, from an accredited school. We had a high passing rate, and they won't even let you sit for the boards unless they deem that you will pass it, okay? My class graduated with 50. No, it started with 50 of us, but only 6 of us made it to the end, okay? That's how tough it was. 6 of us made it to the end, and we kind of bridged on with other people along the way, including people that were doing their LPNs to RNs, right? Once we made it to the end, graduated, completed all our courses, they have to send our transcripts to the Board of Nursing, Florida Board of Nursing. And then they say, okay, they can take the test. We see they met all the requirements for schooling. We'll allow them to take the test to be an actual nurse. So in our class of 50, everybody passed. We had like a 99% rate. Might as well say 98 because it was 50 of us that went to take it. One of us did not pass. She was planning a wedding. Go figure. But she passed it the second time. But everybody passed the first try. What I gotta say about this situation. Woo! Where do I start? I wrote down some notes. So basically, let me just reiterate what happened. These schools were actually recruiting people from different places. They say, hey, come to our schools, give us $15,000. We'll teach you how to pass the board exams for nursing. We'll also give you transcripts as if you were in school. So that goes the myth of, oh, maybe the nurses didn't know they're poor victims. BS. They were not victims. I don't think so. And I wish somebody come on here and say they wasn't. Please prove that to me, because the reason why they went to these schools, because they knew it wasn't as tough as those of us who went through it. Blood, sweat, and tears, honey. And I'm telling you, I bought the blood of Christ on every one of those exams, honey. Praying before every test, praying that I passed after the test. I'm telling you. Church wasn't just in church. It was right before them tests, okay? I done missed funerals, birthdays, weddings. If I did go to a funeral or birthday, my books were there with me while I was studying. In the meantime, in between, you know, my books were there. But in all fairness, some like, well, you know what? They passed the exam. BS, I still don't think that's fair. You didn't have to go to hospitals and learn this and learn that. You didn't have to go through clinicals. These people did not go through clinicals. And if they did, I don't think 2 weeks is enough that I'm reading with some of these articles. I don't know if that's fully true. And I don't even think, a year is enough for RN to be saying, okay, you're RN. Now, there's some programs that bridge on a year because maybe your profession before that was a teacher or something, fine or whatever. But you must go through those clinicals harshly because you're working with lives. How can they obtain a fake degree? So the thing is, your school doesn't always have to be accredited to sit for the boards. What obstacles you come into is you can sit for the boards, you can pass the boards, get a nursing license, but some places won't take you in as an employee unless you're from an accredited school, because that school is accredited for a reason. They have to meet certain guidelines in order to really kind of weed you through what they feel a nurse needs to be viable in a hospital setting or any type of acute setting or any other setting. Some may not require it as much. They may, let that pass. But I know a lot of hospitals, strong hospitals that won't take you if you're not accredited from accredited school. I wouldn't be surprised with COVID happening, and we were short-staffed and everything. I wouldn't be surprised that some were weaseled in. Wouldn't be surprised. They were crying for help. They were just taking anything that flew by. So some probably weaseled in through there. The other thing I wrote down, I think I explained that. So other states are involved because they came down here to Florida for the schooling. I'm gonna say schooling, because they pay like $10,000 to $15,000 for the degree. and they go through, I guess, their classes to teach them how to pass the class, how to pass the boards, not necessarily the courses that you need in the clinicals of being in the hospital, being monitored by a teacher, working with real patients, okay? But how they how they go, they went ahead and went through those courses, which is just preparing them for the test. And they say 1/3 of them pass. They say a third of them pass. I think 2,300 they say pass, and they're out there working now. They found a couple in Delaware. They're already revoking their license. And what happens next? Oh, yeah, they go to other states to pass their courses. So to pass the board of nursing, you have the Florida Board of Nursing. Each state has their board of nursing, right? You go in, you could go take their test. You could take your classes basically anywhere, and some places are like, okay, what school did you go to? Okay, where are your transcripts? Okay, you send it to them. They were going to New York to take their test. Why, you ask? Let me explain. So in New York, some say you can take their nursing exam in an unlimited amount. Florida, for example, you could take the test 3 times. You fail it 3 times, you have to go back for remediation before you're able to take it again. So they're pretty strict here. For those that are saying like, oh, they're letting Florida pass by. Oh no. Oh no. New York and some other places may allow you to take multiple times. Now let me clear up the rumor with New York. They don't take it unlimited times, but you can almost say it is, because when you go to their website, you can take it 8 times a year, 45 days apart. Florida, you can't do that. So that's the reason why they took the classes here. Yeah, they'll pay the $10,000, $15,000, but they won't take the test here because they know they're gonna fail. So they go to New York or some other place, and they're like, oh, okay, well, if I fail it this time, I got 7 more tries this year. And so that's like almost once a month. You might have a couple of months off to just try again next year. So I'm not shocked that some, that's my printer crying. I'm not shocked that they went to New York to go and sit for their boards. You have a better chance of passing. What's next? I think a lot of these places, and I'm so sorry if it's one of you, but I'm not sorry. Because at the end of the day, what it's doing now is making us who worked hard for our license look bad. I already had patients that come in nervous, and they'll flat out ask you, how long you been a nurse? You were RN or LPN? And sometimes I just break down my whole resume. I've been a nurse for over 13 years. I held this, position, charge nurse, that school nurse, and I've been So I already have to do that once in a while because I look fairly young sometimes to some people. And they get a little nervous, like, oh, should I'm getting a little nervous? No, it's nothing to do with something I said to them, because it's just even a first good morning encounter, and they'll start trying to sway in and ask those questions. Now it's 10 times worse for all of us who actually went and got our degree. It is 10 times worse now, because all they see on the headlines, Florida, fake nurses, Florida, fake nurses. Me and my husband and I, he's the ER nurse. He already getting texts from his friends like, oh, I heard you got that fake license. Like they already like accusing him of and he's like, no man, I went to a reputable school. I went to FIU. So I'm like, yeah, we gonna get it for a while. We probably gonna hear it for a while. But to y'all hospitals and facilities who are now aware, fine, you didn't know, No one's aware of these schools that actually did the scam at the time. Now that you know, y'all facilities, y'all gonna have to do what some of these Delaware places are doing. You're gonna have to let them go, because now the public does not trust anybody with a Florida nurse or any nurse that's in a Florida hospital. So you need to be able to say, listen, those schools, those nurses that went to those schools, excuse me, we don't have any of them here. Real proud to say our nurses are from accredited schools, or that has been through rigorous training. Because to say these nurses are innocent, maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments. Maybe I'm wrong. If you went to this school and you just like this guilt-free person that you didn't know that it was a scam, you know good and well, I'm talking to you, you know good and well, ain't no nursing degree that takes 3 months or even a month. Please prove me wrong that you go learn all this stuff in 3 months. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. And I think back at some experiences during COVID, even like recent, that I encountered with some nurses, and I feel like when I'm switching off in a patient and I'm using certain terms, you're supposed to know them terms. And now I can't just say IV drip. I have to say intravenous drip. And you still not catching on. That bag of water up there that's going in the vein. If I gotta break it down like that, I started getting suspicious. I'm like, why she? I feel like I'm giving a whole nursing exam here. Why don't she understand what I'm saying? This report taking longer than, and some nurses already know, like, you've been in the game for a long time. We say certain terms, we say certain, acronyms and stuff, and we get it. It don't take that long to switch off with a seasoned nurse. We don't take that long. Give me what the problem is, give me what we did already, and give me what we got to do. When I'm sitting here doing a whole nursing lesson with you, okay, you might be new. I don't mind. I'll take my time with you. But it's this one nurse, I swear, I was giving her like a whole nursing exam. How to do the wound care, how to find it, and it was just like, oh boy. Oh, girl. And went to question me, why I didn't give a blood transfusion on a patient? Why didn't I call a doctor about a patient and about a blood transfusion of a patient who has chronic kidney disease, hemoglobin of 8, yesterday was 7.8. The doctors already said she's stable. She's stable. We're not transfusing. This is her baseline. And for the most part, I agree from my experience, for the most part, those who've been through it and those who's dealing with that condition, you don't do that. And so when I pulled up the chart and showed her, look, yesterday, she was actually like 0.2 lower. She's actually higher today. And she got quiet, and I kind of explained a little bit more why, and I kind of go, the kidneys stimulate the bone marrow. The bone marrow is what makes the red blood cells, and that's why it's going to be low a little bit. But you're welcome to call the doctor who has an order that says don't transfuse unless it's under hemoglobin of 7. You're welcome to call him. Since it's your shift, you're welcome to call him and try to convince him to give him a blood transfusion on a stable patient whose blood pressure is perfect, heart rate is perfect, looks perfect, and clearly has an order and a plan from all the doctors agreeing that you don't transfuse a patient like that. As opposed to a patient who's bleeding out, clearly they need a blood transfusion. But what I'm saying is, Y'all hospitals that hire these people, now that you know, please don't keep them working next to me, cause I'm gonna call them out. Now I know I'm gonna call them out. You ain't supposed to be here, and it's not the I'm better than thou type attitude. It's unsafe. You gonna be working with me or my dad or somebody one day, and y'all leaving these people out there to just sit there out there taking care of patients. It's not making sense. It's making a lot of sense with some nurses. It's just a rarity for the most part. You know, we getting a lot of new nurses coming out of school, which is great. But that one encounter, it now makes sense. Like, oh man, but yeah, I just want to point out, it ain't all of us. Very few. Most of them went back spreading all over the United States. A lot of them went back to New York. And they got the FBI involved, I heard, and other people, because it's bigger than that. These people made over $114 million. They made some good money on a fake license. And my second question is, where y'all getting this bank from? 10,000? You could spend 10,000 at once, 15,000 at once. They say it started from 2016 to 2022, and then it got me thinking real deep. I'm like, I remember in 21, 22, maybe 2020, they was giving out PPP loans. I was like, I wonder if some of these people like got these loans and just paid these people. Uh-oh, that's double trouble. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of people going down. Clean it up, because none are guilty in this. None are guilty in this. The nurses, the owner, the staff. Maybe the staff. I'll let a secretary go, because you might not know how to nursing degree work. But the nurses, the owners, the teachers, y'all know better. Y'all knew what y'all was doing. And the sad thing is, you don't think it could revolve back to you where they taking care of you or one of your family. Now, so far in their investigation, because I understand this didn't just start yesterday. They've been investigating this for a couple of months or years or something. It's just now really starting to come to light, with one telling on the other one and the other one. They're finding that the nurses that they did follow and found to be part of this fake license scam, they're finding there has been no harm done to patients. Cool. Thank God. But no, it's not okay. It's not okay, because it really looks bad on the entire profession. I hope I cleared up some answers, some questions, some concerns, but I had to get on here and speak my truth. Thank y'all for listening. And like I said, if you part of this school scam, correct me if I'm wrong. The schooling was great. You did all the classes, but apparently I don't think you could do it in that short amount of time. Let's get real. But bye. Have a good night. That's all I got to say about this.